Hello everyone, this is Pungz Chili and welcome back to the channel. You already know what to do around here. We have another personality reading. Up next, Mr. Shownu from Monsta X. We're just gonna jump straight into it. So the first pile is, who is he in public to those who don't know him? Strangers. The High Priestess, Queen of Wands, the Sun, King of Wands, and who is he in private? The Moon, Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Two of Swords, overall bottom, 10 of Wands, High Priestess again, the Chariot, King of Wands, and the Devil. So, who is he to those who don't know him? It seems like he is very physically attractive and alluring to most people, so usually people who probably don't even know him, it doesn't matter where he's at, he's usually attracting some sort of attention. Maybe not necessarily something like crowds mobilizing around him, but something about the energy that comes off him is very attractive, right? Attractive not just physically, he is very good looking, but just it seems to draw people in his nature, right? He's magnetic. He seems generally very positive, very sunshiny. His presence is a little bit powerful, especially to those who've probably never met him. So they might assume that, oh wow, maybe this is some big tough mean guy until they get to know him, or maybe see his smile, right? They also see him as very thoughtful, usually very intuitive, based on the way he speaks. His speech can seem quite eloquent, or he always just happens to sound like he always knows what he's doing, even if he doesn't know what he's doing. King of Wands here, yet again, just another affirmation that he has a very strong presence, very much strong, ruling, powerful vibes, and people tend to like that. So in a situation, in a room where people are trying to decide who they want to be the leader, they probably would end up choosing Shownu, despite him maybe on purpose or just trying to hide himself in the back. It's something about the vibe, the way he carries himself, the energy field around him that would cause people to put him in places where he happens to have to lead or to figure it out. It makes sense. But yeah, also they can see him as very frank and upfront, and I would say most people value that whenever it comes out of his mouth, especially as a stranger. So who is he in private? He is somebody who is very sharp and very intelligent. Usually after seeing something, he's going to get it and understand it. He might have some clumsiness, but for the most part, he's very graceful in other ways. He's super graceful in some ways. In some ways, he can be a little bit clumsy, but very sharp, very, very lucid, very much caring and nurturing. It's just kind of his second nature to take note of things and to correct them, or to, stand in and know, okay, this person needs comfort and in this way. So it's just kind of like his knowledge transcends beyond what is, usually the basic social expectations. I would say, however, the Moon is that he is a person who might not feel like he always has direction in his life and around himself. I don't know if I would say this is like he doesn't know who he is quite exactly. I feel like he has an understanding of who he is, but he probably often finds himself contending with abstract topics such as this. Like, what am I? Who am I? What is a human soul? Am I really a personality just formed off of biological traits, or is it my environment that shaped me sort of situation? So it's this kind of, in terms of higher order thinking, like his just is always on all the time, which, can be a little bit difficult at times. I would say he's very much a person that is able to be connected with on a different level, but not a lot of people are usually able to see that from him. The Two of Swords, though, he is somebody who also is a little bit private and closed off whenever it comes to the emotional side. It just seems like any sort of demons or pain that he carries, he very much just kind of goes at it alone. Or even if he were to go at it with, let's say, I don't know, he just decided to go to therapy or something like that. That's not something he's discussing with those who are maybe even the closest to him until he decides when, okay, I feel like talking about this. He does happen to carry burdens on his shoulders. 10 of Wands, High Priestess. Yet again, it seems like he is a wise soul. So whatever happened during his, incarnation, reincarnation, whatever, him coming back here, he came back with a lot of things encoded into, the rings of a tree sort of situation. He came in knowing a lot, which, can be a little bit difficult and strange when bringing it into, the weird, tangible world of human beings and people being at different levels of intelligences and understanding and things like that. So he often finds himself, maybe feeling like he's an outlier at times. But anyway, otherwise, we also can assume that he is naturally hardworking, naturally very smart. He is very much fit to lead, and he usually enjoys it, but it's not really something he always goes out of his way to do. He just kind of ends up there, or ends up maybe trying to take over and contribute. Great team player vibes with this one also. But here is, the devil's peeking out yet again. I would say any sort of trials or tribulations, pains, aches, things that upset him or that have lingered within him, from the past, the present, or whatever. He really kind of has a tendency to keep his concerns to himself, as, he might feel like that is what makes a good leader, is that, he has to be able to shoulder or make others feel like he can shoulder as much responsibility as possible. So by showing them, there are weaknesses on this and that side, he feels like, that's going to slow up my stuff and slow up my role. But otherwise, to summarize what we can assume about Shownu is that he's hardworking. He's very attractive, a little bit flirty, charming vibes. Very, very lucid, if I did not say that already. And caring, but he might seem to others like, oh, he's detached and cut off. It's just that he has a very good hold on his emotions. So in that regard, he is stable, or he does a very good job at appearing to be stable. For the third time, I'm going to say hardworking. And yeah, just overall a very stand-up guy. That's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Drop me a like if you would like. Subscribe to the channel. Go follow me over on Tumblr. Feel free to put any requests in the comments or run over to my Tumblr and drop something in the ask box. And feel free to, go through all of the written readings that I have up on the blog so far. Yeah. If you can't get down with it, get down. Don't get down with Pungz. And